तो बच्चों, it's our chapter number 2, mathematical physics, and so far we have discussed vectors, what are vectors, what are scalars, what is difference between them in our previous sessions, and we have studied the addition of vectors, different vector operations. So out of it we have studied addition, multiplication of vector by scalar, and if the vectors are parallel or anti-parallel, what to do, and if the vectors are at some angle, certain angle, then we use triangle law, parallelogram law of vector. So in this way we add vectors. Then we have discussed the resolution of vector in previous sessions, and we have solved some numerical related to that. Okay, so in today's session what we will do, we will study the multiplication of vectors. Okay, so there are two type of multiplication of vectors. So when we consider multiplication, we use this word product of vectors. Instead of using the word multiplication, we use word product of vectors. So there are two kind of product of vectors. Number one is scalar product. Don't confuse this with scalar multiplication. Scalar multiplication is different and scalar product is different. So scalar product of vector, and the second type is vector product of vectors. Okay, so there are two type of multiplication in vectors, or two kind of products in vector: scalar product and vector product. These products are also called dot product and cross product. So we will learn each topic one by one. So scalar product is also called dot product, and vector product is also called cross product. Fine. So let us study this scalar product first in detail. Okay, so now scalar product. So what is definition of this scalar product? How do we define scalar product? So basically it is product of two vectors a bar and b bar, and there is a dot placed in between. Okay, this product is also called dot product. Okay, remember this name. So it is defined as, the dot product of two vector is defined as product of magnitude of first vector into second vector into cosine of angle theta between these two vectors. So if I have a vector here, okay, let us say I have a vector here, a bar, I have another vector b bar, and the angle between these two vector is theta, then their dot product is defined as a bar dot b bar equal to ab cos theta. Here this a, what is this a? A is magnitude of vector a bar, b is magnitude of vector b bar. So this is definition of dot product of two vectors. Now we will discuss what this actually means, है ना, इसका क्या मीनिंग होता है वो हम लोग डिस्कस करेंगे. So let us take a situation. Suppose this is my vector b bar, this is my vector a bar, and if I draw, now we already know the resolution of vector. Okay, so if I take component of b vector along a vector, how to take component of b vector along a vector? Let us say a vector is in x direction. So how to take component of any vector in x direction? We draw a perpendicular from the tip of this second vector on this first vector on this axis. Okay, so let us put perpendicular from b vector on a vector. Now we have this part, let us name this part O, and let us say this is P. So this OP in this diagram, this OP is component. What is OP? It is component of B vector along A vector. What is OP? It is component of B vector along A vector. We have already studied the resolution of vector. So what is component? It is part of this vector which is in the direction of A vector. Okay, so now what will be this value? Okay, let us find the value of this OP. So we have a right angle triangle here. Let us say this angle is theta. Okay, and let us name things. Okay, this is O, this is P, let us say this is Q. So now what will be the value of cos theta in this triangle? Okay, we already know the formula for cos theta. Am I right? So what is value of cos theta here? So cos theta will be adjacent side, which is OP, adjacent side is OP, divide by hypotenuse, which is OQ. So adjacent side upon hypotenuse. What is length of OQ? It is equal to magnitude of this vector B. So we can write, instead of OQ, we can write B. What is magnitude of OP? It is OP only. So if we rearrange this, what we get is OP equal to B cos theta. What we get here is OP equal to B cos theta. OP equal to B cos theta. Now, if we look at our definition, this B cos theta is our OP. And what is OP? It is component of B vector along A vector. So we can redefine this as dot product of two vector is one vector multiplied by, what is this? It is component of second vector in the direction of first vector. Okay, let me explain you this once again. What is dot product of two vector? It is A into B cos theta. And what is our B cos theta? This is B cos theta. And what is this B cos theta is? It is component of B vector on A vector, or let us say component of second vector on the first vector. So dot product of two vector is defined as product of magnitude of one vector, or it is basically multiplication of magnitude of one vector with component of second vector along the first vector. So this is how we define the dot product of two vectors. Let us now define the characteristic of dot product. So what are characteristic? These are special things that this dot product satisfies. Okay, these are the properties that this dot product obeys. Let us write the characteristic of dot product. Now the first characteristic is the same thing, that if A bar dot B bar is defined in this way, which is A B cos theta. And what is this B cos theta? What is this B cos theta? It is the component of B vector in the direction of A vector. So we can write this as A into component, or we can say it is part of vector B in direction of vector A. So it is component of B bar in the direction of vector A bar. Now we can also write this in reverse sequence, since A and B are the numbers and cos theta is basically trigonometric ratio, so it is also number. So if you look at right hand side, all these things are number. If you look at left hand side, these are vectors. So this dot product is also called as scalar product, because this answer comes out to be scalar since there is no vector on this side. If you look at this A, this is the definition of our dot product. If you look at A is magnitude of vector A, so basically it is number. B is also number, and cos theta is a ratio, so it is also again a number. Okay, so these all things are scalar things. Okay, so that's why this dot product is also called as scalar product. And now since this is scalar, these are scalar numbers like 2, 3, 4, so we can change the sequence here. So if I change this sequence, if I write, instead of AB, if I write BA cos theta, so what will be this A cos theta? Let us check with this diagram. So if I draw diagram like this, A vector and B vector, and if I draw perpendicular from A vector on B vector, then this angle is theta. Then this section from O to P, this OP will be A cos theta. In the same way that we have done here, this component of A vector along B vector will be OP, which is A cos theta. It is component of A vector along B vector. So here we can write B into component of A vector along B vector. So this is first characteristic. And if you look at this, we can write this BA cos theta as B bar dot A bar. So this is our second characteristic. So we'll write this separately. So from this reverse sequence, we can also write that A bar dot B bar can also be written as b bar dot a bar. Since these product are scalar product, their answer is scalar, we can change the sequence, and that we have done here only. Okay, so this is our property number 2, where we can change the sequence. Okay, in your textbook, in Maharashtra State Board textbook, these a, instead of a vector and b vector, it is given p vector and q vector. So don't worry, still the names are different, the laws are still same. So this second property is called commutative property. Why it is called commutative property? If we change the sequence, the product remains same. This property in maths or in physics, we call such property as commutative property. So we already know that 2 into 3 is similar to 3 into 2, or it is equal to 3 into 2. In the same way, this a bar dot b bar is equal to b bar dot a bar, and that's why we call this property as commutative property. Now property number 3, characteristic number 3, that this scalar product obeys distributive law. If a bar dot b bar plus c bar, so if we have numbers, if I have number like this 2 into 3 plus 4, so what will be the answer here? 3 plus 4 is 7. 7 into 2 is 14. Now if I write this in this way, 2 into 3 plus 2 into 4, what will be the answer? This is 6, this is 8. 8 plus 6 is again 14, so we get the same answer. So this is law, distributive law. We multiply this by first term, we multiply this by second term. So this we have studied already in our lower standards. So in this way, in the same way, we can distribute this a vector on b and c vector. How we will distribute it? A bar dot b bar plus this will be a bar dot c bar. So this is our distributive property. Now we'll study the fourth property. We will take different special cases. So the fourth characteristic is basically special cases where we will take different values of theta. Let us take the first value, theta equal to 0. So it means vector A and vector B are parallel. So in this first case, where theta is 0, a bar dot b bar is ab cos theta, and we know that cos theta, if we put theta equal to 0, cos 0 is 1, so this will give you ab. Okay, so there is a special property related to this. If we have vector like this I cap, okay, and if we take dot product of I cap with I cap itself, what is I cap? I cap, we know that I cap is unit vector in the direction of x axis. So this is I cap, so it is in the direction of x axis. This is another I cap, again it is in the direction of x axis, so angle between these two is 0. So as per our law, a bar dot b bar is ab if the angle is 0. So ab means magnitude of first vector and magnitude of second vector. Magnitude of I vector is, magnitude of this I vector is 1, magnitude of this I vector is 1, since these are unit vector. So 1 into 1 is 1. So what we get is I dot I is 1. Now what will be the value of j dot j? Again it will be 1. What will be the product of k and k? It will be again 1. So I dot I equal to j dot j equal to k dot k cap equal to 1. So remember this, you can note this down in your notebook, on the top of your notebook, that I dot I is 1, j dot j is 1, k dot k is 1. This is very important result. This we will be using in further numerical examples also, and we will use this in one derivation also. Fine. So this is case number 1 where theta was 0. Now if this theta is 90 degree, what will happen? So we know that cos 90 is 0. We know that cos 90 is 0. So this dot product in this case will be 0. A bar dot b bar equal to 0. If theta is 90, then dot product is 0. So you can remember one statement from this, that if two vectors are perpendicular, then their dot product is 0. What is the important statement here? If two vectors are perpendicular, then the dot product is always 0. Okay, so if I say I cap is in this direction and this is my y axis, so j cap is in this direction, then I dot j, these are perpendicular vector. Okay, I cap is unit vector in x direction, j cap is unit vector in y direction. So what will be the dot product of I and j? I and j are perpendicular, so their dot product is 0. So from this we have result I dot j equal to j dot k equal to k dot I. Since all these vectors are perpendicular to each other, their dot product is 0. Okay, and now there is one more possibility, last possibility. If theta is 180 degree, other than these special angles, if angles are different, then you will get a value of this dot product. Okay, so if theta is 180, we know that cos 0 is 1 and cos 180 is minus 1. So in that case, this dot product will have a minus sign here. So a bar dot b bar will have minus of ab. Okay, so it will have only minus sign in its answer. Okay, so this is how the special cases work. Okay, we have taken 3 special cases where theta is 0, theta is 90 and theta is 180. So 2 important results that we have derived here is, number 1, if the vectors are parallel, then their dot product is equal to product of their magnitude, and from that we have derived that I dot I is 1, j dot j is 1, k dot k is 1, and if the vectors are perpendicular, then it can be any vector. If they are perpendicular, then their dot product is always 0. Okay, so these are the important results you have to remember. Now let us take the fifth property. Property number 5, if my two vectors a bar and b bar are equal, then dot product a bar dot b bar, since these are equal, they will have same magnitude. This implies magnitude of a is equal to magnitude of b vector. Okay, so by definition a bar dot b bar is ab cos theta. Okay, since these two vectors are equal, it means they are in same direction and they have same magnitude. So this theta will be 0, so cos 0 is 1, and a, we can replace a by a or b by a. So if I write instead of b, if I write a and cos theta is 1, so this is a into a is a square. In the same way, we can write instead of a, we can write b. Since the magnitude are equal, we can write b and b here, and here the theta is again 1, cos theta is 1. So 1 into b into b into 1 is b square. So in short, what we can write as a bar dot b bar equal to a square or b square when a bar and b bar are equal. Okay, so remember that square of a vector, if you look at this square of a vector, it means it is a bar dot a bar. Okay, and square of a vector b is simply b bar dot b bar. You can also remember this property. Okay, so this is property number 5. Now let us take property number 6. So if my first vector is written like this, a bar equal to axi plus ayj plus azk. What are these? Ax, ay, az, these are rectangular component of vector. This I have already taught you in resolution of vector topic. So if my first vector is a bar given by axi plus ayj plus azk, my second vector is b bar bxi plus byj plus bzk, then their dot product, this is very interesting and easy result, it will make your numericals easy. So this dot product is given by product of these components only. So ax bx plus ay by plus az bz. This is very important and very easy result. Okay, we will prove with this in later section. Okay, so this dot product is ax bx plus ay by plus az bz. We will prove this, okay, later on. Property number 7, if a bar dot b bar is equal to a bar dot c bar, what do we know from this? If this vector a, suppose this vector a is non-zero, okay, this vector is vector a is non-zero. So if I have numbers, then I will simply cut these numbers. Suppose these are not vectors, then I will simply cut these vectors, and what I will conclude from this, that b bar is equal to c bar, but is not necessary in case of vectors. this if a bar dot b bar dot product of two vectors, and again dot product of first vector and another vector c bar, a bar dot b bar is equal to a bar dot c bar. If this is the case, it doesn't necessarily mean that b bar is equal to c bar. Is not necessary. This condition is not necessary. If it is numbers, it is scalar, then we obviously know that if this kind of equation is there, we cut a bar and a bar, provided a bar is not 0. Here it is already provided this a bar is not 0, and then if this is the situation, then what we conclude for normal numbers, we conclude that b bar is this term and this term are equal. But here these vectors may be equal or may not be equal. How this situation works, let us take this in more detail. So in our property number 7, a bar dot b bar is equal to a bar dot c bar. Again a bar is non-zero, so normally what we do, we cut this a bar and a bar, and what we conclude is b bar is equal to c bar, but this is not necessary. Why it is not necessary? Let us take the situation. If a bar dot b bar is equal to a bar dot c bar, okay, then we can rearrange this equation. A bar dot b bar, take this a bar dot c bar on LHS, then it will be a bar dot c bar here, and we will have 0 on that side. Since these are vectors, so we will have 0 on that side. Okay, now we know the distributive property, that is this a bar distributes over addition or subtraction. So if I take a bar common, then what I will have here is a bar dot b bar minus c bar equal to 0. Now we know one property, that dot product of two vector is 0 if they are perpendicular. This implies a bar is perpendicular to b bar minus c bar. This is one implication of this situation. Other possibility when this dot product is 0 is either a bar is 0 or this b bar minus c bar is 0. Now since a bar is non-zero as per the condition, then another possibility is b bar minus c bar is 0, and this will imply b bar equal to c bar. So there are two possibilities here, number 1, number 2. So if we say that this equation is valid, a bar dot b bar is equal to a bar dot c bar, again a bar is non-zero, then there are two possibilities here. The first is a bar may be perpendicular to b bar minus c bar, and if this is not true, then b bar will be c bar. Okay, so from this a bar dot b bar equal to a bar dot c bar, we cannot directly write that b bar is equal to c bar. There are two possibilities, number 1, number 2. If b bar is equal to c bar, then this is the possibility. If b bar is not equal to c bar, then there is one more possibility. What is that possibility? Then the possibility is a bar is perpendicular to b bar minus c bar. Okay, so this is our property number 7. Now we will do the proof of the 6th property. Okay, now let us prove the 6th property. What is 6th property? Now we will follow the textbook, our Maharashtra State Board textbook. So if first vector, there the vectors are given p and q, so I will use the same vectors here. So if first vector is p bar pxi plus pyj plus pzk, and our second vector is given by, if the vector p bar is given by this, q bar is given by qxi plus qyj plus qzk, then p bar dot q bar is given by pxqx plus pyqy plus pzqz. This is what we have to prove now. Okay, so it's a very easy proof. What you have to remember is I dot I. What is value of I dot I? What is value of j dot j? What is value of k dot k? Try to recall. So this product of I dot I, j dot j, k dot k is 1, and if we take product of I dot j, j dot k or k dot I, then this product, since these vectors are perpendicular, this product is 0. Okay, so what will be the product of j dot I? It will also be 0. Product of k dot j will be 0. So product between any I j combination will be 0, and product of I with itself, j with itself, k with itself is 1. So you have to remember these points before going for the derivation. So let us start to derive this. Okay, so we will prove this result. Okay, so to prove p bar dot q bar is px qx, py qy and pz qz. So let us start the proof. P bar dot q bar is written as px I, py j, pz k dot qx I, qy j, qzk. So I have written these two vectors separately and there is dot product in between them. Now how we will do normal number multiplication? We will multiply this first vector by the first vector here, or first term by the first term, first term by the second term, first term by the third term. This is how we multiply in normal number case. So here we will follow the same procedure. We will multiply this first term by first term. So it will be px into qx I dot I. Remember that this px and qx are number, so no need to write dot here, but I and I are vectors, so we will write I dot I. Remember this step. Okay, now in the same way, first term into second term, px qy first into second, I dot j. In the same way, first into third, first is px, third is qz, I dot k. Let me explain you this once again. We will multiply the first term by each terms in the second vector. Okay, so this first term into first term into second term, first into third. In the same way, what we will do? We will multiply the second vector or second term by the first, second into first, second into second, second into third. So let us write that. Second into first, so py qx j dot I, py qy second into second, j dot j, j cap dot j cap, since these are cap. Okay, remember that these j are unit vectors. Second into second, second into third, py qz j dot k. Now we have multiplied second term by each term. Now third term multiplied by each and every term. So this will be pz into qx k dot I, pz into qy k dot j, pz into qz k dot k. So this is how we have multiplied each term of first vector by each term of second vector. Now if we look at our concepts, since I dot j, I and j are perpendicular, we already know that I dot j is 0, so this term will be 0. I dot k, I and k are also perpendicular, x and z axis are perpendicular, so this will again be 0. J dot I will be 0, since we know that I dot j is 0, so j dot I is also 0. J dot k is 0, since these vectors are perpendicular, k dot I is 0, k dot j is 0. And what is value of I dot I? I dot I is 1, j dot j is 1 and k dot k is 1. So we will write the reason here. Since I dot I is 1, j dot j is 1 and k dot k is also 1, I dot j I dot k, j dot I, j dot k, k dot I, k dot j. These all terms are 0. Since these are perpendicular vector, these all dot products are 0 and these all dot products are 1. So what is left here is px into qx into 1 plus py into qy into 1 plus pz into qz into 1. Now what is left here? It is p bar, LHS is p bar dot q bar equal to what is left? Px into qx into that 1. So we will not write that 1 plus py into qy into that 1 again. We will not write that 1 plus pz into qz and again 1. We will not write that 1. So this is our proof. Okay. So this is how we have proved it. Let me explain you the proof once again. This is our p vector pxi plus pyj plus pzk. So we have written this vector in the term in rectangular component form. This is q vector qxi, qyj and qzk. What we have to prove here is p bar dot q bar is px qx, py qy and pz qz. So this is our question. So we will write this first and second vector like this. Okay, and there is dot product between them. Now what we will do? We will multiply first term by the first term by the second term. So the normal, we will do the normal multiplication only. So this first term into first term will be px into qx. This I cap and I cap are unit vector, so we will write dot product here. So px into qx, since these are numbers, I dot I plus, now this is first term into first term into second term. So this will be px into qy I dot j, px into qy I dot j. In the same way, we will multiply first term by third term, px qz I dot k. Now we have multiplied this first term by all terms. We will multiply the second term by all terms, and the result will be here py qx, j dot I, then py qy, j dot j, py qz, j dot k. So in this way, we have multiplied the second term, and in the same way we will multiply the third term by each term. Okay. So this is what we have done. Now if you look at here, I dot I is 1. We already know that I dot I is 1, j dot j is 1 and k dot k is 1. And what about this I dot j? Since I dot j, I and j are perpendicular, so I dot j is 0. In the same way, this is 0, this is 0. So we have cut all these 0 terms. Okay. So any combination of I and j and k will be 0 except I and I, j and j and k and k. So these terms will remain. If you look at this dot product, it is 1. So I dot I is 1, j dot j is 1 and k dot k is 1. So px qx plus py qy plus pz qz is our result, and this is how we have proved it. Okay. So now we will study the vector product in our next section or in our next lecture. Okay. Now if you have any kind of doubt, then you can just post your doubts in the chat box or in comment section. Okay. And you can share this video if you like my video. If you find that this video can be helpful to your friends also, then you can share it with your friends also. Okay, bye.